Thank you. Welcome to the November 2019 meeting of the Finance Committee. I first have to say I think this might be the first time I've had my colleague and the chair here. And we certainly, if he's listening in, we wish him well, and we hope he gets back to the chair real soon. Thanks, Al. First up on the agenda is the adoption of the meeting minutes from the October meeting of the Finance Committee meeting. Tracy, can I get a motion to approve those meeting minutes?
So moved.
Thank you very much. Second. And all in favor? Aye. None opposed? That motion carries. So we have 4 resolutions on the agenda for today. First up is behind tab 4, which is the Bernard College transaction. And that's going to be presented by David, but also a special guest by Maria. So thank you very much, Maria.
Thank you.
So take us away.
Okay. So staff report provided to the members presents 2 series of tax-exempt and/or taxable, fixed and/or variable rate bonds with maturities not to exceed 40 years and an aggregate amount not to exceed $90 million on behalf of Barnard College. The purpose is to finance the renovation and modernization of college's Morningside Heights campus, making efficient use of the college's limited space. Projects include renovations to Barnard Hall to accommodate Student Academic Service Center, dance and fitness studios, and office space, a top-to-bottom renovation to the college's science building, Alto Hall to enhance STEM education, as well as a number of other campus-wide renovation and maintenance projects. Approximately $80 million of project costs are expected to be funded with bond proceeds. Also, there's going to be a refund all or a portion of the DASNY Series 2007 A bonds, which have a current par outstanding of $6.17 million. Assuming current market conditions, a total net present value savings in the range of $1.1 million or 9.5% of the refunded bonds is expected. It is anticipated that the proposed issuance will be sold in 2 series, 1 fixed rate and 1 variable rate. The fixed rate bonds will be sold through a public offering to fund a portion of the project costs, approximately $40 million of the total $80 million, to fund capitalized interest and to refund the Series 2008 bonds. The variable rate bonds will be sold through a private placement to fund the remaining portion of the project costs, approximately $40 million of the total $80 million. This private placement is anticipated to be issued as drawdown bonds, which provides the college with timely access to bond proceeds to fund ongoing projects, much of which may not be needed until 2021. The structure of the variable rate bonds also provides the college with the flexibility to pay down principals as gifts are received in the future. Barnard utilized a similar structure when issuing through DASNY in 2015. Moody's Investors Service has assigned a rating of A1 to the outstanding obligations of the college with a stable outlook. It is anticipated that the loan agreement will be a general unsecured obligation of the college, and no security interest in any revenues or assets of the college will be granted by the college under the loan agreement. And then some financial highlights include that applications have increased by approximately 40% over the last 5 years, from 5,676 in fall 2014 to 7,897 in fall 2018. Total enrollment for fall 2018 was 2,635 students, just above the 5-year average of 2,590. The college remains highly selective, accepting only 13.9% of applicants for fall 2018, a significant drop from 2014 at an acceptance of 23.8% of applicants. The college's financial resource base, as measured by expendable net assets, grew from $162 million in 2014 to $213.2 million in 2018. Net assets in 2018 totaled $515.3 million, increasing nearly 35% over 5 years. Furthermore, the college's audited financial statements for fiscal year 2019 were released just prior to the mailing of the staff report and showed no significant changes in the university's overall financial position.
Thank you. Thank you for that thorough and excellent presentation. Thank you very much. Tracy, any questions or concerns?
No, none here, thank you.
I just, and maybe it's for Dave, I'm not sure, the underlying work, the renovation work and all of I haven't heard any community opposition or anything to any of the facilities. I don't think anything's new, really. I think it's mostly being renovated, I
Yeah,
think.
almost all of
I don't know
it's
why I'm-
interior
Confused me
renovations.
there.
Yeah, there's a couple
I'm
facade,
looking at you.
there's some facade work, but for the most part, 90% of it's internal renovations to existing facilities.
Thank you. Thank you. Certainly a good client of the authority, for sure. Joan, any questions?
I
any
don't.
concerns?
No, thank you.
From up in Buffalo, Mr. Gardner? Anything?
No
Any
questions.
questions? Any? No questions. Okay.
No.
Thank you.
No questions.
Okay. Tracy, can I please get a motion to recommend this resolution
Yes, so
tomorrow,
moved.
be adopted at tomorrow's board meeting? Thank you. I'll second it. All in favor, aye. None opposed. That motion carries. Once again, Maria, thank you very much. Next up, Fordham University. That's behind tab 5. Right, that's a finance. That's in a refunding. That's a financing.
Right, yep.
That's going to be presented actually by Alex.
Yes.
David's there. I get to you somewhere, Steve, I know. You're coming. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
This is a resolution to proceed on the issuance of one or more series of tax-exempt and/or taxable fixed and/or variable rate bonds with a maturity not to exceed 40 years in an amount not to exceed 170 million on behalf of Fordham University. Proceeds from the Series 2019 bonds are expected to be used to finance a portion of the cost associated with improvements to the McGinley Student Center located on the Rose Hill campus in the Bronx. Projects at the McGinley Center include the construction of an approximately 71,000 square foot 3-level addition to the existing campus center, the renovation and improvement of the existing space, and the acquisition and installation of furniture and equipment. The project will update and expand student life offerings in the campus community, including new dining areas, a bookstore, a ballroom and meeting facilities, lounges, administrative offices, student organization space, and fitness areas. The financing structure is proposed as the tax-exempt fixed-rate bonds and the security. Fordham is currently rated A2 by Moody's and A by Standards & Poor. In accordance with DASNY's financing guidelines for independent institutions, Fordham qualifies for an unsecured borrowing with a rating of A3, A-, or better. As such, the loan agreement for the Series 2019 bonds will be a general unsecured obligation of the university, and no security interest in any revenues or assets of the university will be granted by the university to DASNY under the loan agreement. Some additional information about the university. Demand for the university's program has increased in each of the last 5 years. Applications totaled 45,147 for fall 2018, an increase of 24.8 over 5 years. Fordham continues to report positive operating results despite capital spending in recent years. While operating margins began to thin in fiscal years 2016 and 2017 due to large capital expenditures at the Lincoln Center campus, margins averaged $21.2 million over the last 5 years. Fordham relies on tuition and fees and other student-related revenue. Tuition and fees account for 71% of the university's total revenue for fiscal year 2018. Fordham's total net assets have increased by $94.2 million over 5 years, reaching $1.3 billion in fiscal year 2018. And on a final note, the financial statements for fiscal year 2019 were released after the mailing of the staff report and showed no material changes in the university's financial position. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex, for that very well-done presentation. Tracy, any questions or concerns for Alex?
No, just a long-standing DASNY client. It's good to see, additional borrowing, so I have no questions.
Yes, they've certainly been a good client of DASNY. We did the bond that constructed that helped construct the Lincoln Center,
Yeah,
right?
law
Did the
school.
law school? Yeah. Nice building. I just confirmed the center that's already on on campus, right?
Mhm.
It's sort of just expanding adjacent to the existing
Exactly.
service, correct?
Yep, they're expanding it, the front portion.
Right, we're not going outside the campus or anything. Thank you very much. Any other questions, Joan, anything?
Nope.
Mr. Gardner? Anything from Buffalo?
All set. Nope.
Okay. Thank you very much. Can I please get a motion to recommend that this be approved at tomorrow's full board meeting? Tracy?
So moved?
Thank you. Thank you. I'll second that. And then we will vote yes on that. Thank you. None opposed? That carries. Thank you very much. Alex, thank you. Maria, thank you once again. Next up is what's the other one behind? 6. Right, that's the BOCES?
Yes.
St. Lawrence County BOCES. That's, Steve, you're gonna take that, right?
Thank you. Staff is requesting the Finance Committee to recommend the board to adopt a resolution to proceed for financing an amount not to exceed $43 million on behalf of St. Lawrence Lewis County BOCES. The ability to create a BOCES, or Board of Cooperative Education Services, was established in 1948 and was designed to enable school districts to combine their resources to provide services that otherwise would have been uneconomical, inefficient, or unavailable. St. Lawrence Lewis County's BOCES was established in 1970 and provides shared services to 18 component school districts in St. Lawrence and Lewis counties that together serve approximately 20,000 students. The component districts cover over 2,500 square miles, and the BOCES administration offices are located in the village of Canton. DASNY has issued 3 series of bonds on behalf of St. Lawrence Lewis County BOCES. As of September 30th, 2019, approximately $2.3 million of Series 2011 bonds and approximately $2.6 million of Series 2015 bonds remain outstanding. BOCES are funded by payments made to them by the component school districts based on their eligible share of program services and administrative and facilities expenses. The component school districts pay for these expenses through real property tax levies. In addition, the state has made appropriations to the BOCES program each year since 1949 to partially offset these. The amount of state aid apportioned to St. Lawrence Lewis County BOCES is available to be applied to pay the DASNY rentals or debt service. On October 9th, 2018, voters approved a $43 million in financing for capital projects at 3 career and technical education centers of the St. Lawrence Lewis County's BOCES. The project is anticipated to be financed through 2 fixed-rate tax-exempt negotiated bonds. Approximately half of the project is expected to be financed in early 2020, and the remaining portion is expected to be financed in late 2020 or early 2021. This structure better matches the funding with the cash flow needs of the project and minimizes the impact on the tax cap of the component school districts. The bonds are expected to be rated AA2 by Moody's. The bonds will be secured by annual rental payments to be made pursuant to lease agreements with St. Lawrence Lewis County BOCES. A direct intercept through the state comptroller of any state aid due to St. Lawrence Lewis County BOCES for rental payments on the DASNY lease agreements. Pledge of public funds apportioned by the state due to St. Lawrence Lewis County BOCES in an amount sufficient to pay such rental payments, subordinate to pledges granted in connection with other outstanding DASNY St. Lawrence Lewis County BOCES bonds. So there will be a 1/2 year debt service reserve fund or reserve fund facility. Bond insurance may be considered depending on economic efficiency, although at this time it's not expected.
Thank you. Tracy, any questions?
I don't think so. We're saying that the school aid that they receive is sufficient to cover the debt service.
That's correct.
That's
Last year, they received state aid of approximately $22 million, and after the proposed bond issuances, their annual debt service will be roughly $3.8 million, so there's roughly 6-7 times coverage.
Do the underlying
Great.
projects, do they require the approval of the state aid? How does that, where I see some reference to it, but just how does that sort of,
That's right.
Work.
So The project was approved by the voters, and currently plans and specs have been submitted to the State Education Department for approval, and we'll be waiting for that approval prior to coming back to the board to adopt documents. It's expected that will be next month.
Do they actually like go through the whole, like from a constructability standpoint, like we do, or are they just sort of more analyzing it on a program basis? Or just,
I'm not sure the level of detail that they go into, but.
I'll ask the rep tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right, we have a new rep, I
Right,
think. so.
right, right.
But I know they do provide the, detailed budget.
I'm sure they go through a pretty detailed
I would
review
think so.
process. so.
We have architects and engineers, so my understanding is somewhat akin to what we do on a CON process, where it's not the deep dive into our projects, but all state aid projects go through a kind of an high-level architectural review.
Okay. Anyway, Joan, any questions?
No,
John?
thank
Good?
Good.
Anything else, Tracy? No?
No, good here.
Hearing none,
Thank
can I
you.
get a motion, please, to recommend approval of this resolution at tomorrow's full board meeting?
So moved?
Thank you. I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That'll be none, so that motion carries. Thank you very much. Last up, Steve's back up for the Trevor Day School. I first had to look and see where that was located. I didn't realize it was sort of in, I've really heard of the school. Anyway.
So staff requests the finance committee to recommend the board adopt a resolution to proceed for a bond issue on behalf of Trevor Day School in an amount not to exceed $66 million to refund and restructure the school's DASNY Series 2011 bonds and to terminate 2 interest rate swap agreements integrated with these bonds. Trevor Day School is a 501c3 not-for-profit co-educational independent day school. The school began in 1930 as a nursery and kindergarten program, which over the course of several decades expanded to offer rigorous academic programs from nursery through grade 12, with an emphasis on preparing its students to enter into college and university studies. Prior to 2015, the middle school, grades 6 through 8, and the upper school, grades 9 through 12, were located in the Andrew Goodman Building on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And the lower school, which is nursery through grade 5, operated out of 2 locations on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. In 2015, the middle school and upper school relocated to a new school building on the Upper East Side, and the lower school moved into the Andrew Goodman Building on the west side. The DASNY Series 2011 bonds were issued to finance the middle and upper school buildings. The 2011 bonds are variable rate bonds that were sold through a private placement to RBS citizens and are currently eligible for redemption at par. In connection with these bonds, the school entered into 2 interest rate swap agreements. The school's current management prefers a more conservative fixed rate debt profile, and management believes that the current market provides them with the opportunity to refund and restructure its debt. The school is in the process of selecting a qualified institutional buyer to purchase the proposed bonds through a private placement. The staff report mentions the school is also considering obtaining a rating and doing a public offering. However, that is not the current expectation. I will further discuss the anticipated plan of finance after providing some additional information on the operations of the school. Net tuition and fees account for approximately 93% of total operating revenues. So clearly the school is tuition dependent and therefore must manage its enrollment and expenses well to meet its operating targets. Overall, enrollment decreased from 818 students in the fall of 2015 to 783 students in the fall of 2018. This decline is primarily due to a decrease in the lower school enrollment from 331 students in 2014 to 254 students in 2018. Management attributes the decline to the disruption caused by the relocation of the lower school in 2015 and the discontinuation of the nursery program in 2014. By bringing back the nursery school in 2017 and other recruitment initiatives, management says enrollment has stabilized and is on track for annual improvement. The nursery program is a feeder program for the kindergarten, which is the key entry point for the lower school admissions. Kindergarten enrollment is currently 38 students, up from 24 students in 2017-2018. With larger kindergarten classes, lower school enrollment is expected to return to historical levels as the students flow into the higher grades. Upper school enrollment increased from 269 students in 2014 to 337 students in 2018, partially offsetting the decline in the lower grade levels. Trevor Day School had its largest graduating class ever last year with 87 students. Overall, the school receives approximately 1,000 applications a year. Selectivity has been in the low to mid 30% range, and yield has averaged approximately 30% over the past 5 years. Tuition has increased from approximately $42,000 in 2014 to approximately $51,000 in 2018, and the tuition discount rate has averaged 15% over this time period. The school's net tuition per student has increased each year from approximately $34,000 in 2014 to approximately $41,000 in 2018. Management is able to adjust operating expenses based on fluctuations in enrollment to meet its margin targets. Excess operating revenue over operating expenses has been in excess of $4.2 million in each of the past 3 years. Debt service coverage has been approximately 1.5 times in each of these years. The school's total assets have been relatively flat over the past 5 years, averaging approximately $178 million. Cash and investments have averaged approximately $42 million over this time period. Net assets have increased by 32% over the last 5 years, from $72.5 million in 2014 to $95.5 million in 2018. The school's expendable resources to debt ratio is 0.21 times in 2018, and total cash and investments to debt was 0.66 times in 2018. Management is focused on improving these liquidity measures, in part by restructuring its debt. Subject to review by tax counsel, the school plans to structure the proposed bonds with principal being repaid over approximately 27 years with an interest-only period of approximately 3 years. The proposed financing structure will allow the school to improve its liquidity by reserving the $6.3 million principal they would otherwise be paying over the next 3 years. In addition, extending the final maturity will better align the liability with the useful life of the asset. Debt service on the Series 2011 bonds is approximately $4.3 million a year, while debt service on the proposed bonds is expected to be approximately $3.5 million a year. The school is not expecting debt service savings on a net present value basis, and staff will provide the board with an update on the plan of finance at the adoption of documents.
Thank you very much, Steve. Tracy? Any questions? Sir?
Just a question on the extension of maturity. I might have missed, how many years is the extension?
It's approximately 9 years. The current final maturity is 2041, and it's expected to be extended to approximately 2050, which obviously is subject to review by tax counsel, but would be within the useful life of the assets.
And is that, Steve, is that structure anticipated regardless of the proposed private placement versus public? Or is that
Yes.
assumed? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's the expectation. That would be whether it's private placement or public offering. But again, I think they're pretty set that this will end up being a private placement. They expect to make that selection soon.
What do you think, Maria? And Alex? Joan, anything?
I just, I don't know if this is too much detail that you get from them, but is there a plan to increase enrollment in the lower school? Seems like that's stagnating, and I understand that they anticipate increased enrollment in the upper from the middle, or from the lower, but
Yeah.
we got to keep that flow coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. So their lower school enrollment as you know, did decline over the past few years. And there's two big factors for that. It's the relocation of the school from the west side to the east side. And also, they eliminated the nursery program. And they brought that back in the 2017, 2018 fiscal year. And that has increased their last couple of classes in their kindergarten. Which, I mean, you know, if you think about it, that is the key entry point.
Right.
Because it's, a lot of students don't enter in, you know, first, second, third grade. So as those grades, you know, progress, they expect that lower school enrollment
To increase.
to get back to their historical levels.
Thank you.
The attempt is just to really put them on a little firmer
Yeah.
financing footing, right? It's, it'll,
And not only have they brought back the nursery school, they've made other initiatives, developing relationships with other nursery programs on the Upper West Side, other, you know, parent and teacher groups. So I think they're gaining footing in that neighborhood.
John, anything?
I'm good.
Okay, hearing none, can I please get a motion to recommend approval at tomorrow's full board meeting? Thank you.
So moved.
Tracy, I'll second it. All in favor, aye. Any opposed? Will be none. That carries. I think that concludes our agenda unless anyone has any questions or concerns. You good, Tracy?
Good, thank you.
Joan?
Yeah, great,
John?
thank you.
Good. Once again, thank you, Maria. Thank you, Alex, very much. I hope you enjoyed working with the fine folks at DASNY there.
You did.
Thank you. I guess I can get a motion to adjourn. So Mr. Gardner is in the up next circle there. So
Pardon me?
I said you're in the on deck circle. Right?
Yes, exactly.
So we'll end ours.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you.
So moved.
Second, I'll second it. All in favor, aye. None opposed. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.